Peace, peace. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to another day to labor in the vineyard of the Most High. With your brother, another day to get in the Word to see what the Most High got to serve. And what we eating on, we gonna get a better understanding of the Godhead and where we as the adamic seed fit in the Godhead as the lowest rung on the ladder of the Godhead, and how the Watchers was sent to watch over the Kadmon body in this hierarchy. Alright? But the Watchers got free will also, just like us. Alright? So hopefully this help get some better understanding, and it of course gonna tie some things from the last lesson to give us a better perspective and more clarity so that we can keep elevating. Alright? We're gonna start with the definition of Godhead. The definition of the Godhead. You see how our understanding of God is unfolding more and more as the weeks go on. Alright? And it's creating a separation and an elevation at the same time. Godhead, a term used to denote the unperceived, omnipotential, divine essence of the living Creator in the immediate divine host, in the primordial, ever-present state, beyond space and time, meaning beyond this three-dimensional realm, this three-dimensional veil. What we refer to as Elohistic powers in the divine spirit realms that are invisible to the human eye, but whose presence can be felt in this space-time reality, traditionally identifiable through the consistency of the Holy Word and the true prophets, which prophets are the teachers of the light. Alright, so we're going to go back into the superscript, back into the fifth light picture superscript, where we left off last time. The fifth light picture superscript entitled Thou Shalt Be the Family of light, not the family of the flesh. But what you will learn is the family of light protects the family of flesh, because love is the underlying thing in the Godhead, and each level that you go up looks after the level below it. Alright? But we're gonna see. We're gonna precept our way through this thing. Starting at verse 66. However, just as with the angelic orders and lords of light, some of the life forms come directly from the Elohim. However, just as with the angelic orders and the lords of light, some of the higher life forms come directly from the Elohim, especially those which are instituted to manage and protect the thought forms in the various sun universes, such as the Kadmon. Alright? And do you see right here where the Kadmon is referred to as a thought form? Alright? Man is a thought form. The Kadmon was a thought form. Because remember, we created through our thoughts. We created through the word. The word is the vibration in the astral realm. Alright? So the Kadmon, as we're going to see, is a thought form that emanated from the Elohim. And this is why consciousness reigns supreme down here in the lower heavens, as well as above, as above, so below. But our consciousness levels, that's why they seeking to elevate us in that dimension right there, right now. Because that's the link that's going to tie us back and activate the super helix that's been disabled through us being remolded in the image and likeness of the Gentiles. Verse 69. Thus, our life design comes from a pre-existent light body form, which that's the Kadmon, the primordial body of light. Thus, our life design comes from a pre-existent light body form that is coded directly from the Elohim consciousness. Directly from the Elohim consciousness. Let's get a precept for that. Let's go to the second light superscript. We're going to go to the second light superscript, verse 81. When the divine sought to create the Kadmon image, a portion of the infinite light, the great light, established a smaller image from the greater image. Alright? The smaller image was the Kadmon from the greater image, which was the Elohim. So, again, when the divine sought to create the Kadmon image, a portion of the infinite light established a smaller image from the greater image, allowing for the emergence or existence of the Kadmon. The Kadmon body of light, in turn, created its own manifestations. Remember, like our brother taught us in John 10:34, is it not written in your nature that ye are gods? The adamic seed is the lowest rung on the ladder of the godhead. Alright? The Kadmon, our primordial nature, like it says right here, created its own manifestations. The same way the Elohim, the creator gods, created the Kadmon body of light in their image. Our original Kadmon body created its own manifestations, which are tertiary, meaning earthly life forms, and hence our adamic form that we call humanity became manifest. The Elohim created the Kadmon. The Kadmon descended into the flesh to become the adamic seed, or the indigenous human form on this planet. Our birthright is to be the light. Our birthright is to be the light in all realms of life, and to carry forth the divine thought forms as light carriers into all life experiences of creation, regardless of what region we choose to participate within. Alright? And that ties our birthright, this right here, it ties into in the beginning of Genesis when it says man was created to have dominion. Alright? So our birthright is to be the light in all realms of life. Alright, remember we was given dominion over everything on the earth, and to carry forth the divine thought forms as light carriers, The divine thought forms as light carriers. This is how you pass on the torch. Through your higher consciousness, your higher thought forms as light carriers into all life experiences of creation. Meaning all aspects of life in the lower heavens. Regardless of what region we choose to participate in. Alright, now back to verse 69 in the fifth light superscript. Thus, our life design came from a pre-existing life body form that it was coded directly from the Elohim consciousness. The design is different from most of the forms of life in our sun universe, which were mainly a product of local engineering through the B'nai Elohim, who use only some similar life codes. And what we're going to see, the B'nai Elohim, those are the equivalent of the Watchers. Alright? Those are the Watchers. Alright, let's get the definition of B'nai Elohim out of this book. B'nai Elohim, sons and daughters of God. These paradise sons work with derivative systems of creation, derived systems of creation within the sun universe. They become involved with the making of creative life forms in the universe with the intention of serving the divine. But in some instances, they work with experimental creative powers, meaning they work with the fallen side of life. Experimental, because the experimental forms is the fallen forms. Alright, like it said above, they become involved with the making of creative life forms in the universe with the intention. With the intention, that's the key word right there, the intention of serving the divine. The same as man. We supposed to have the intention, don't mean that you will or have to, but you should have the intention of serving the divine. But in some instances, they work with experimental creative powers. Ultimately, they will choose the selected seed, which is transplanted from imperfect creation to levels of the divine spirits. All right, and that's what the righteous Watchers do. All right, they elevate the Kadmon body down here to higher levels. All right, because each rung on the ladder pulls up and works with the previous rung. All right, so now let's go back to verse 60. In all of this, we are clearly not alone in the universe, since the B'nai Elohim act as life carriers, instillers, or seed bearers with various hosts in this sun universe, seeding different forms of life and establishing biospheres within the architectural mansion worlds where various forms of life can be initiated and evolve. Let's get another precept. Let's go to the keys. We're going to go to the keys to get another precept on the Watchers or the B'nai Elohim. Page 371. Verse 89. The B'nai Elohim work with the derivative systems of creation. They evolve the lesser garments, meaning the bodies of flesh and blood. All right, because remember, they watch over the Kadmon, but when the Kadmon bodies went down into lesser garments, then the B'nai Elohim was there working with them. That's why in the beginning of Genesis, you had the sons of God and man together, doing all type of stuff, because you had the fallen Watchers working with the wicked, and that's what the books of remembrance started. The books of remembrance started to go into, with the Durkadachi and the Urkadasha. All right. How in the beginning we was all here together. The Benai Elohim or the Watchers work with the derivative systems of creation. They evolve the lesser garments of the Adam Kadmon that are not directly used by the Elohim. Meaning, let's keep going. We're going to show it. They evolved the lesser garments of the Adam Kadmon that are not directly used by the Elohim in the creation of the physical intelligences that serve Yahweh. All right, let's go back to the second light picture superscript and get another precept. Verse 295. Additionally, the Benai Elohim experimented with the myriad of life forms of intelligence, and this ties into the sealed portion when you read about them experimenting with the what them things called, the Neanderthals, the nomad beings that it speak of in the beginning of the sealed portion when it talk about Lucifer and his host down here. All right. Additionally, the Benai Elohim experimented with the myriad of life forms of intelligence and their offspring, and hierarchies experimented with genetic engineering, much of which continues to this day. Let's get another precept here. Let's go to the sealed book of Ephraim, which is the same as the sealed book of Mormon. All right, and if you Google, if you don't have it, you can Google the sealed book of Mormon PDF, and you're gonna see this picture right here come up. So this one that I had printed off, so you can print it off. All right, so let's get another precept. We're gonna go to chapter 4, verse 28. In these days, however, some of the holy sentinel angels who were of the Watchers class, who were designated from the beginning as heralds of the Elohim in regard to earthly affairs, and therefore they could materialize in carnal bodies in the likeness of men, and to infiltrate among the sons and daughters of Adam under the influence of Anaquil, the person responsible for the plot that took place among the vigilantes who were corrupted, known among his fellows by Azazel, being the principal of those who abandoned their position. Those who abandoned their position that they obtained in heaven, they came to build for themselves great refuges, in which some of them, under the influence of Ha-Satan, had intercourse with the daughters of men, and in it have they brought forth seed, the giants of the land. So in Genesis, when you read about the sons of God mating with the daughters of men, those are the fallen, but not Elohim. All right. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Back to verse 70. The Adam Kadmon was given the task of being the heavenly caretakers in the original cosmic Garden of Eden, and was originally designed to manage the local trees of creation and the trees of life. All right, remember the trees of creation, just talking about the different entities, the different life forms. All right. So the Adam Kadmon, because remember, he was given, that's the Genesis 126 or 27 creation, the Kadmon body that was given dominion over everything. So the Adam Kadmon was given the task of being the heavenly caretakers in the original cosmic Garden of Eden, the highest levels of creation, and this Sun universe, and was originally designed to manage the local trees of creation, the local realms of creation, and the trees of life, the life forms. Alright, let's get another precept. Back to the second light superscript, verse 294. On the sixth day, or sixth eon, the higher Adam Kadmon consciousness intelligence, the higher Adam Kadmon primordial body of light, entered into the Gan Eden, which is the Garden of Eden, for interspecies communication. Let's go to verse 522. In fact, the role of Adam and Eve in the midst of the Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, was to manage the chaos in separation in the local experimental realms. So there remains the possibility that the fall was a fall into lower consciousness realms, as an enigmatic or mysterious attempt to upgrade the consciousness energy in these local realms. All right? In these local realms. Let's get verse 298. But words like thoughts can be changed. Even today, our genetic process. Remember all the times we done showed in the keys and talked about that super helix that with the Gentiles called junk DNA and how it's activated through our thoughts, our higher consciousness. Even today, our genetic process is influenced by our higher thoughts and the thoughts of our local life space realm. All right, and this is why the programming is the biggest key for the Gentile nations and the fallen entities. They got to program our thoughts because they understand that adamic seed body will start to shift and reactivate if we allow it to think on that higher level of thought. All right. Oh, we're gonna see more of it. Let's keep going. All right. We fell into lower consciousness, which instead of managing the Garden of Eden, we started playing in the field. Back to the fifth superscript, verse 70 again. The Adam Kadmon was given the task of being the heavenly caretakers in the original cosmic Garden of Eden, and was originally designed to manage the local trees of creation and the trees of life. This is the origin of our family of light as recorded within the book of life, stored in the library of the Hall of Records associated with the Treasury of Light. All right, remember all these scriptures are wrote for us, like you can see. When it's talking about the origin of our family of light, it's talking about us, the Adamic seed. This is why the scriptures really have very little to do with the Gentiles. All right, this is why all the other books are just coming out, because this is the history that was hidden. This is the pre-existent history that was hidden of the Adamic seed. And for this information to get out to the public, it will prove the fact that Negroes are not earthborn seeds like all of the other Gentile nations, the races of men. All right, so they had to keep this hidden until the end of time. All right, look at the definition of the Treasury of Light. Treasury of Light, a realm of heavenly habitation where the elect of the word work with all tablets and documents and assimilating thought forms into programs which will promote the metamorphosis of old worlds and define the configurations of new worlds. All right, so right now, they upgrading the program in our minds, which is going to take some of us above into the new world, like we read in the book of Revelation. The most esteemed way in which entrance into the treasury can be made is through the practice of benevolence and the promotion of peace between man and man and the law of God, the cosmic law, as practiced in the higher worlds. All right? And this is why we got to purify our heart and get all them negative feelings out of our heart so that our minds can be back connected on high so that we can receive more. When you got them negative feelings in your heart, your aura is clouded and they're not going to feed you as much to where you're going to stay stuck with the lower information. Verse 74. Originally, our higher life codes were not designed to be encoded into the present materialization, the present physical realm. Yet, due to the celestial fall, a limitation of our consciousness took place, and physical materializations were created, called the adamic seed. The adamic seed. And remember, Adam refers to both male and female. Originally, our life codes were not designed to be encoded into the present materialization, the present form. Yet, due to the celestial fall, a limitation of our consciousness took place, and physical materializations were created, called the adamic species, both male and female, which was a split from our original non-dualistic Adam-Kadmon form. All right, our original pre-existent body of light. That is, we were originally designed from a higher coding to supervise realms of new creation. And we fell into this reality instead of supervising it from higher dimensional levels. And if you got the emerald tablets of Thoth, you will read about this in there when he talk about how they dwelt with the children of light. All right, the children of light was higher than the beings in the flesh, but they worked together hand in hand to upgrade creation. 76. After the fall, or cosmic separation, the Adamic race, as we know it, became limited in body and mind to accomplish largely dualistic realities of energized matter and limited thinking within the 3D, 4D event horizon. Although the Adamic code, the Adamic seed, was not designed for worlds of duality per se, we took on the biological fabric shell, speaking of the flesh, which has now allowed the life codes of light to enter a physical dualistic creation. Thus, this act allowed for an upgrading of the local creation. In this sub-kingdom, we experienced the vision of death, the illusion of death, which we had never experienced in our higher realms. The fallen kingdom also limited our ability to filter the right signal processing into the bioholographic fields, the consciousness fields, resulting in the passions of anger, the bioholographic, speaking on the physical fields, the body's fields also, resulting in the passions of anger, envy, and demise, as opposed to the fruits of the spirit: peacefulness, benevolence, kindness, and love. All right, so again, In this sub-kingdom, we experience the vision of death. The fallen kingdom also limited our ability to filter the right signal processing into the bioholographic fields, resulting in the passions of anger, envy, and demise, as opposed to peacefulness, benevolence, kindness, and love. As our genetic mapping came directly from the Elohim in the host, we are now simply existing within in a limited, watery biosphere. Yet, we have always maintained the spiritual direction within us through our similitude, while living within the planetary fields. 81. The Adamic species today represents a program. The Adamic seed today represents a program of image similitude or image and likeness synthesis that is evolving to extend and integrate back into a larger family existing in and outside of this sun universe. All right, so this is part of the program now, the unfoldment for those that are set to go on. Now let's get another precept. Back to the second light picture superscript. Verse 526. Let it be known that the process of descension was designed to be reversed at the time of the ascension of the universe. So again, let it be known that the process of descension was designed to be reversed at the time of the ascension of the universe. 537. It was our physical mind and emotional body which created the illusion of separation that cut off the thought forms from our over self body, our higher self body, that sought to flow into this creation. However, the initiate cannot understand the process of ascension without understanding what it means to be here in this reality. Just like our brother Yahshua. All right, he had to come down and walk through this realm so that he could be the King of Kings, the conquering lion over all of the realms that he was given dominion over in the beginning, just like us. All right. However, the initiate cannot understand the process of ascension without understanding first what it means to be here in this reality. And therefore, the second light picture superscript speaks about the image that takes on form. 540. What we have now learned that our carbon-based body, remember, this is speaking on us. Our carbon-based body is created out of the consciousness non-physical universe. Because like we read at the beginning, we was created through the thought forms of the Elohim. We are now learned that our carbon-based body is created out of the consciousness non-physical universe, and essentially the illusion of life is the illusion of separation from the higher worlds of light in the divine mind. (82) Since we began as a thought form seed envelope of light, since the Adamic seed began as a thought form seed of envelope of light, Our family is linked to all levels of the kingdom through its very structure, which provides the key configuration to understand and comprehend other dimensional realities of our local sub-kingdom, and why, even from here, some can peer into other dimensional realms. Some of y'all that are seers and got the ability to see spirits and entities and see into the other realms of creation. We're going to read right here. Some of y'all didn't maintain that. This is because the majority of the Adam Kadmon's higher mind and higher consciousness have remained beyond dualism and outside the restrictions of matter. All right. So those whose name he knew in the beginning, like it said in the Nag Hammadi, you didn't completely lose all your abilities, all your gifts, your whole connection. All right. This is because the majority of the Adam Kadmon's higher mind and higher consciousness have remained beyond dualism and outside the restrictions of matter. Note that not all aspects of the Adam Kadmon fell, but only an aspect of his consciousness power came into this local physical dimension of our sun universe and became entrapped. 86. Moreover, when the power of the Adamic seed was curtailed, it was the office of the Christ, the office of the higher consciousness, and the Holy Spirit field through the Shekinah, which had to work within space and time, within the third dimensional field, to save and rebalance the diverse image and similitude realities, including ours. Let's get a precept from the keys. All right, this like when the Most High said the gospel went into apostasy, he had to send somebody to lift us back up. All right, to keep that remembrance alive. All right, so let's get a precept out the keys. Page 249, starting at verse 18. In the lesser dust world kingdoms of flesh, in the lesser dust world kingdoms of flesh, there are points of comparative growth and comparative death. But all of these are brought back to the original blueprint of the over-self creation through super spectrum alignments. And remember, the Adam Kadmon is the aspect of the over-self. In the lesser dust world kingdoms of flesh, there are points of comparative growth and comparative death. But all of these are brought back to the original blueprint of the over-self creation through super spectrum alignments, through a super spectrum species called the Zohar. They are beings of light who are the incarnation of the B'nai Elohim, the righteous watchers. Alright? They are, speaking on the Zohar race, they are beings of light who are the incarnation of the B'nai Elohim, having the ability to send down their mind, body into time programs so as to put on many physical bodies to manage and direct the wise programs of their instructors, the Elohim Council of Light. All right, so there are righteous watchers who come down and incarnate to father the programs of the Elohim. Thus, they incarnate into many time cells, many time frames to govern the nature and destiny of a life plasma. All right, and this tie into the movie The Eternals. This is what it was showing. All right, this Zohar race, these are the Eternals that is speaking on, that came to father the program of the Elohim. All right. They can project their minds into the bodies or into the chemical plasma of subspecies life habitation to perform the physical operations of the superspectrum light consciousness. The subspecies evolutions are the finger cell and toe cells of the galactic Adam Kadmon. Alright? So they come to work with the subspecies evolutions of the Adam Kadmon. Alright? To keep them in remembrance of who they are and where they come from. Let's get another precept. Let's go to page 40, verse 47. Through this assimilation, man becomes cosmic man who can freely participate in the other forms of cosmic creation, the other realms and dimensions. The leadership of cosmic creation unfolds through embodiments of the divine Adam Kadmon as manifestations of Atman, Mahasa Atman, Krishna, and Shior Koma. Alright? Krishna was an avatar. Let's get another precept showing that. Let's go to the fourth light picture superscript. Fourth light picture superscript. Starting at verse 514. As more and more realms are created, the administrative power from the Father Universe expands to assist through the powers and authorities and the avatars who must sometimes enter physical realms for their management. The avatars were known in the Eastern texts as Jataka, Hari, Krishna, associated with the female powers of Kuan Yin, Ziwang Mu, Durga, and countless others. Alright? And in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 7 and 8, Krishna says that when the levels fall, he incarnates himself to get the people back on the right path, the righteous beings back on the right path. Alright? The same way the Most High said, when the gospel go into apostasy, he sent one of his prophets to raise the levels of consciousness to keep them aware. Alright? 5:16. The Sun Universe, however, also has the office of the Christ and its associates as the 144,000, including the disciples of Yahshua, who are actively doing the work, in coordination with the various paradise trinities. Alright, so the 144,000 work hand in hand with the avatars, the watchers, the prophets. All of them work hand in hand to elevate creation and keep the light flowing until the time of ascension. Which right now, we at the time of ascension. We at the end of the cycle. Let's go back to it. Verse 86 again. Moreover, when the power of the Adamic humanity was curtailed, it was the office of the Christ and the Holy Spirit filled through the Shekinah, which had to work within the third dimensional field of space and time to save and rebalance the diverse image and similitude realities, including ours. The human fall thus initiated a threefold response revealed as Lord, King, and Redeemer. The human fall thus initiated a threefold response revealed as Lord, King, and Redeemer, which emerged from the consciousness of the cosmic Christ And from the sonship power, and remember John 1 and 12, to them he gave power to become sons and daughters of God, to them that believe, all right, to them that accepted that higher consciousness that he was giving out. And from the sonship power as a redemptive action of deliverance for the repairing of universes upon universes, and higher life upon life reality zones for re-evolution. Now, let's go to the keys to see this threefold part. Page 25, starting at verse 2. Being part of an open-ended universe, we are part of an open-ended mind. Remember when we read about the recorder cell and the Akashic record, which is the Akashic records on one aspect. Being part of an open-ended universe, we are part of an open-ended mind. Being part of an open-ended mind, we are part of an open-ended universal image. 4. The higher mind is seen as Lord, Adonai, King, Melech, and Redeemer or Messiah. And this was the power of the Christ and Krishna consciousness when we read how they had to install that consciousness into us, to those that are receptive, to those who are open-minded and their minds are ready to receive from on high, because they still got that drop that's connected. Those are your mind, your higher mind will redeem your flesh, all right, and connect you back to your Kadmon body of light. That's why Philippians 2 and 5 say, let this mind be in you. Let this mind be in you, which is in Christ Jesus. It's speaking on the Christ consciousness. That's the higher mind, that higher consciousness, because it activates that super helix strand within the adamic seed. The higher mind is seen as Lord, Adonai, King, Melech, and Redeemer or Messiah. The knowledge of the living mind comes after your living mind becomes open-ended. That's what the Bible tells us to renew our mind. Page 228, starting at verse 8. Languages of chemistry which do not connect this universe with other universes, meaning they keep us in the mindset of Earth is all there is and there's no other higher life forms than man. Languages of chemistry which do not connect this universe with other universes are languages not of higher luminaries, but of fallen luminaries who rule the lower universes, the lower heavens, and keep them locked in space. This is why we are told in this key that fallen language patterns exalt not creation, but in actuality create three-dimensional chemical enslavement within fixed magnetic fields, fixed consciousness time zones. If we only listen to the language of finite science, which is obedient to the lower heavens of the galactic snake, we will not be able to go on and reunite with other galaxies, but will remain locked in our immediate system, believing that it is the be-all and end-all of creation. All right. So this, some more seeds to plant in your mind to see how we are to continue to unfold and evolve. And they got us on a program right now. It's a program that they got us running before destruction hits, so that it can be coded within the seeds that choose to be chosen to go on farther. All right, but if you want a terrestrial glory, that's cool too. No harm, no foul. All right, peace.